to crochet a can cozy. These can cozies take little to no time to make and are so useful, which makes it one of my favorite projects, and I want to show you how to make it today. So I have linked the pattern, both the PDF and the blog post versions, down in the description box below, so feel free to check those out and follow along. But I'm also going to be taking you step by step through the process in this tutorial, so you don't have to have the pattern if you don't want it. I'm going to be using cotton yarn today. I'm going to be using WeCrochet Dishie. This color is called Inlet. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's a really beautiful kind of light sage green. It's my favorite 100% cotton yarn that I have found so far, and I will link it down below if you want to try it out yourself. Highly recommend it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our can cozy. I am using a 4mm crochet hook. It's also handy to have scissors, a yarn needle, and then a stitch marker on the side. It's just going to make it a little bit easier as we work through this cozy together. And again, all of the materials are listed down below as well. So for round one, we're going to go ahead and get started by making a magic ring. Now this is my preferred way to start crocheting something in the round, but alternatively you could do a chain 3 and then slip stitch to the first stitch to form a ring and work into that. But I'm going to be using a magic ring today, so I'm going to show you how to do it. Simply place the tail end of your yarn facing you, wrap twice around these two fingers, and then cross it on the second time. Go under the first strand and grab the second, and then twist, and there you go. There is your ring. So we're just going to chain 1 to kind of lock that in place. And now we are ready to begin round 1. And again, if you did the chain method, it's super simple. Just chain 3 like I said, and then that center will be your ring instead of this magic ring here. Okay, for round 1, we are simply going to work 6 single crochet stitches into this ring. So insert your hook into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We're going to do that 5 more times for a total of 6 stitches. So there's 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to go ahead and pull our tail to close up that ring, and that is where it gets its magic name. No hole anymore. Really love that technique. It's definitely one of the most useful ones in crochet as well, at least for me. Alright, so for round 2, we are going to be working in a spiral for this project, so you might find it helpful to place this marker on the first stitch of your next row or round so that you don't lose, so that you don't lose your place. I honestly kind of just like counting my stitches. That tends to work well for me, but I'm going to show you how I would use this marker just to help you out in that front. So for round 2, we're going to work 2 single crochet stitches in each stitch around. I'm also going to go ahead and weave in this end so that I don't have to worry about it later. So to do that, I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, and then lay that tail over the hook as well so that I am working both around the stitch and around the tail. And I'm going to work my 2 single crochet stitches, and then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to place my marker at that first stitch, and that's going to mark the beginning of my round so that I know when to stop if you don't prefer counting as you go. And I'm going to keep working over my tail for a few more stitches, and I'm just going to continue placing 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So I've worked over my tail a few stitches. I'm just going to drop it now. And then when I finish my cozy, that can just be cut, and I don't have to worry about weaving it in anymore, which is so helpful. Okay, I'm in my last stitch. I just placed 2 single crochets into it. I am back to the beginning of my round, which is also where my marker is. So I'm going to take that out, and we're going to start round 3. For round 3, we're going to place 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the following stitch, and we're going to repeat that around. Again, be sure to place a marker in that very first stitch if that's helpful for you. And we're just going to work that repeat. So single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet 2 in the following stitch. And when you reach the end of this round, you should have a total of 18 stitches around your circle here. And what we are doing right now is just forming the base of our cozy. So we are forming this section right here. This way, once you put your can inside of it, there we go. We're forming the base of it, and then we're going to work all the way up in just a little bit to form the actual cozy part for the can, I guess. Okay, so I'm at a increase. I'm going to work 2 single crochets into that stitch. 2 single crochets, 1 into the next stitch, and then 2 into that last stitch. And there we go. Again, you should have 18 stitches at the end of row 3. For row 4, we're going to continue increasing, so single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then place 2 single crochets into that 3rd stitch. So we're just going to increase that plain single crochet stitch by 1 every single round until we have finished our increase rounds. So again, that's 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, single crochet 2 into that next stitch, and we're going to repeat that all the way around our work here, and when we get back to the beginning, we should have a total of 24 stitches. Alrighty, and there is the end of row 4. We have a couple more increase rounds left, so let's go ahead and do those. We're going to single crochet in the next stitch. I'm going to go ahead and place that marker, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches as well. 1 and 2, and then place 2 single crochets into that into that 4th stitch. So I repeat for round 5 is to work 3 single crochet stitches and then 2 single crochet stitches in the next stitch. When we get to the end, we should have 30 stitches. Okay, I just finished round 6. I'm losing count. Round 5. I just finished round 5. Now we're ready for our last increase round, We're going to place 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. 3, if I can get that in, and 4. And then we're going to place 2 single crochets into that next stitch. And once again, I'm just going to go back here and place a marker in the very first stitch that I worked, so that I know where the beginning of my round is. And then I'm going to keep single crocheting around. So again, single crochet 1 in each of the next 4 stitches, and then work 2 single crochets into that next stitch. And once we get to the end of our round, we should have a total of 36 stitches. And like I said, this will be the last increase round of our can cozy. And so then we will move on to the body, or the part that goes around the can itself. Okay, so I just finished my last increase round. We are ready to work the body part of our can cozy now. So we have the entire base complete, which is right here. Now we're going to start working through the back loop only to create this fine texture and finish off the entirety of our cozy. Now I am going to work a certain amount of rows, and I have that listed in the pattern. I'll mention it here in just a second for my can cozy, because I really like this size and height. But if you want your cozy to be shorter or longer, simply just work less or more rows. It's completely customizable at this point, so just work to whatever suits your personal preferences. So for rounds 7 through 25, we are just going to be single crocheting 1 in every single stitch, working in the back loop only. So I'm going to start in this next stitch. I'm going to go through the back loop of that stitch only. So here's both loops. We have that full V. I'm going to work in the back half of that from now until the end of the project. And this is just going to create those nice lines around our cozy. It's a really simple technique, but I personally really love the way that it looks. So all we're going to do is work in a spiral all the way up until we have worked a total of 25 rows. And that is including the increase rows at the bottom. So you can start counting there. You can also kind of put it on your cozy and guess in that way. Now it is not near as important to keep track of where the beginning of your round is at this point. If you want to, you can place that marker at the first stitch of every round and then just move it up each time. But honestly, I just like to work until it's long enough, and then that's where I stop. I don't pay too much attention to the beginning stitch anymore. The last thing we're going to do is slip stitch to the next stitch to finish off our cozy, and you don't have to do the first stitch in the round for that. So do whatever makes you the most comfortable, but I'm just going to take the time to crochet for a while in the back loop only. So I'm going to go keep using this technique, keep working, and then I will meet you back here when I have about 25 rows complete. Okay, so I just finished my 25 rows total on my can cozy, and now all I'm going to do to finish it off is just slip stitch into the next stitch, working through both loops, just like that. And then I can grab my scissors and cut that yarn. And that's all there is to it. So we can just weave in this end here in just a second. But let me grab this can and show you how it looks. Perfect. So there is our finished can cozy. Hope you found this tutorial helpful and enjoyable to follow along with, and I also hope that you love your finished object. Be sure that I have included all of the links to the materials that I used, the materials that you'll need, and all of the links to the pattern in the description box below, as well as links to my other social media platforms and pattern shops. So just be sure to check all of that out if you are so desired to do so. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any future tutorials, and then click that notification bell right beside it so that you get a little alert every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy making. Bye!